The pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, anti-Israel protesters at Sydney University have had a major win. Their breach of directions, their breach of civility, their breach of university rules has been rewarded. Their ignorance, their hatred, their calls for armed insurrection, their calls for the elimination of Israel and the use of children to promote these violent and intolerant positions have all been rewarded. Yeah, and the reward has come from the university's Vice-Chancellor, the former ABC boss, Mark Scott. He's been targeted by students himself in recent weeks, but he's failed to move the protesters on or show any strength in shutting down the inflammatory anti-Israel rhetoric that's intimidated Jewish students on campus. Scott has instead rewarded the protesters by offering to review the university's links with defence companies and research organisation, and he's offered to let the protesters get involved in that review. I mean, think about this. The protesters have camped on uni grounds, they've preached violence and intolerance, they've intimidated Jewish students, they've interrupted classes and tried to dictate university policy about engagement with Israel and with defence companies that deal with Israel. And Scott, who must surely be one of the weakest men in this country, Scott has offered them a role in reviewing university policies and practices. That's his attempt at appeasement. Now, when Scott was in charge of the ABC, it was run by the staff. That's when it became a staff-run collective. And now he heads up Sydney University, he's allowing the students to run it. But not the diligent, law-abiding citizens. He's letting the unruly, rule-breaking students who chant about violent insurrections and intolerance, he's letting this mob dictate university policy. Just pathetic. Mark Scott should resign. I mean, if you do not want to lead, if you do not want to run the uni, if you want to outsource the running of the university to protesters, then you should resign.